What's up, YouTube? So today's topic, I'm gonna talk about some spiritual things. I guess I'm gonna talk about my spiritual experiences, and if you're watching this, hopefully it can help you. If you feel like you're going through this alone, or if you feel like you're going crazy, I guess this video is confirmation that you're not going crazy. So let's get to it. And again, I don't have the answers for it, but I have experienced certain spiritual symptoms and phenomena that I really can't explain why or how, but I'm sure other people are experiencing this, or it's very rare, I guess. I don't know, or maybe it's not rare. But let's get to it. So there are times where like I experience a lot of like random random heart chest pains, right? I also feel random anxiety and random I guess sexual energy, right? Now, obviously, if you're experiencing those symptoms, make sure you get checked up. Always get it checked up by a doctor or something, so you won't assume it's a spiritual thing instead of, in reality, it could be a medical condition. So make sure you get it checked up if you are experiencing those symptoms. So I mean, not with sexual energy, I guess, at least with anxiety and heart pains and shit like that. But me, I never have a history of any type of medical problems, anything like that. Even growing up, I was pretty much healthy growing up. I eat healthy and I exercise regularly, so I'm physically healthy and shit like that. So I eat healthy, so I never had history with like any like illnesses when it comes to like, I guess, my physical body. So there are, like, ever since I've had an intense connection back in 2017. It may sound kind of new age, but it was a twin flame connection, right? Back in 2017, and ever since I've experienced that, ever since I met that person in 2017, the twin flame connection, I've experienced a lot of like intense heart chakra pains. I guess it's called heart chakra activations. I mentioned in my previous video where like I've experienced a lot of like heart pains, where you experience heart pains and chest pains at random times. It doesn't have to be like 5 days straight. It can happen like once every week, or once or 5 times per month or something like that. And it happens random days and random times. Sometimes you can feel it throughout the day or during nighttime. But I have experienced that shit at times. So it gets very intense. I remember this one time where like it was so intense to where like it was like the middle of the night. My chest was feeling extremely good. Then all of a sudden and it was crazy because that same night I was watching a tarot video about twin flames, and she was talking about how like if you're a twin flame going connection, you're probably gonna go through intense heart chakra pains or heart chakra activations. And then as soon as that video, while I was watching that video, literally like moments later, my heart chakra, my chest was hurting extremely hard. Like it was hurting extremely, like it was so painful. Like my chest was hurting, my heart was hurting. Right after while I was watching that video, and that tarot really confirmed it. I was like, what the hell? So it's crazy how it played out. So it was so intense that like I kind of collapsed to the floor. I didn't pass out or anything like that, but the reason why I didn't collapse to the floor, but I was laying on the floor. I was doing that because it was hurting so much. So usually when I experience things like that, I tend to like take a shower so I could soothe myself. So while I was taking a shower, like it was still fucking hurting. It was so painful. Like it feels like, I can't explain it. The worst part is like it's not a heart attack. It's not a heart failure. It's not skipped heartbeats. It's more so like you know that feeling when you experience intense heartbreak towards a connection and you feel that heaviness in your heart? It's like that, but times 1,000. I can't really explain it, but I never want to experience that shit again. I probably am gonna experience it as I'm living life, but that shit was painful as fuck. And I remember it was so painful that I was like screaming in the shower and stuff like that. I was like, ah, fuck, that shit hurts. It was so bad that I was crying. That's how intense it was. And yeah, like it was so bad. So I was laying on the floor while I was taking a shower and shit, because that shit was hurting so damn much. And I was kind of screaming. I was trying not to be too loud, but that shit was hurting. And that shit lasted for a long ass time. I think I took a long ass shower and I was hurting, and then that shit lasted probably for like 5 hours or so. Not 5 hours, probably like 3 hours or so. But then as time went on, it became like lesser, but it was hurting throughout the whole day or something. It was bothering me the whole day. You know, it was so bad that I called I told my mom that like, hey, I need, like, I told her what's going on. I don't tell my parents, my family about my spiritual experiences, because I'm aware that even though it could be, I study a lot of spirituality, I'm into spirituality, and I guess kind of new age shit, but like I don't push that shit onto other people, because I'm aware that like everyone has their own belief systems. We all have our own experiences, and I'm not the type of person where I push spiritual information towards people, even new age shit, because I'm aware I could be full of shit, you know. So I keep it to myself. But she was aware that I have a history of like heart pains and shit like that, and like I told her like, this shit hurts, but she was at work, so I called her, and then she told me just to get some medicine and to rest and stuff like that. Thank God that was during my off day at work, you know. Shit, like that shit sucked. And I think I scheduled a doctor appointment like in the future just to get it checked up. But that's why I called her. But yeah, that shit hurt. But and then fast forward like a couple months, I was doing research on it, and supposedly like when you're experiencing, I'm not saying I'm right or other people are right, but that's what resonates with me. Supposedly when shit like this happens is when like pretty much basically when you're experiencing things like that, like supposedly you're clearing out a lot of trauma, a lot of pain. It could be a past life pain from your past life. It could be you could be healing your family's trauma, or your twin flames trauma, or it could be all that shit at once, and your trauma from this lifetime, from childhood or some shit like that. And then you're purging all that shit all at once, and that shit, like, it manifests into like you purging that shit into your heart chakra. So this is why it's so heavy and hurts so much. And I of course I didn't make it up. I got these from other people, but me, I could be dead wrong. They could be wrong, but I personally believe in that. So like it shit was so painful. So that shit was painful as fuck. So I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is though. So so that's pretty much what I learned. Basically, if you're watching this, if you're experiencing heart chakra pains, then more than likely it's your heart purging out a lot of pain and trauma and programming, and all that shit's getting released through your heart chakra. That's why it's so painful and it lasts for a long time. And it's like the pain is so grueling that like it'll make you lay on the floor and scream and cry and grieve, you know. And I do experience that still today, but not as intense back in 2018, back in 2019. Thank God. You know, but I do experience from time to time. It's not intense. It's more so like a sadness. Like it feels like I'm feeling someone's energy. I feel like I'm feeling my family's energy or my twin flame's energy, or it could be my energy. My heart's purging out, but it's not as intense because maybe I've done a lot of like purging out all my traumas and pain, like way back then in these past years. You know, and keep in mind, I feel like sometimes spirit or God or the universe, I feel like they'll actually, I think they'll force you to heal, especially if you have a spiritual mission and your mission involves healing work, or I feel like a life or spirit or your higher self will put you in a situation where you have no choice but you're forced to heal. Because me, I never actively chose to heal or to do shadow work. It just seemed like spirit kind of forced that shit onto me. This is why like I had to make videos about this shit, because I didn't actively want to heal and all this shit. Maybe I did, but consciously I don't want to heal. I'm just chilling, minding my own business, but then out of nowhere I'm experiencing heart chakra pains. So maybe that's spirit or God or the higher self or my spirit, maybe they're forcing me to purging out all that shit all at once. It's like, nope, you're on a healing journey, we're gonna force that shit, you're gonna purge that shit right now. So that's pretty much how it was, pretty much, you know. So if you're experiencing that shit, you're not going crazy. More likely you don't have it. More likely, if you experience what I'm experiencing and you always get checked up by the doctors, but you're always good and it's unexplainable, then more likely you probably experiencing a spiritual experience where like you're meant to do a lot of healing work. Well, we're all meant to do healing work, but it could be specific for specific fucking reasons and shit like that. So that's probably why, you know. So if you're watching this, you're not going crazy. I know this shit hurts, but you're not going crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just you're on a healing journey. So spirit's kind of purging all that shit through your heart chakra and shit. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'm also gonna talk about random sexual energy. Now I did talk about this in my past videos, but yeah, it's trippy though. I remember, man, it's a lot of video. I like making videos, but I don't like talking and explaining, because one, I already mentioned this, but I don't want to repeat myself. But it's just, but yeah, I'm not gonna go into too much detail. But there are times where because I've already explained this shit. But there are times where I've experienced random sexual energy, right? Ever since I've encountered my twin flame, that shit was so intense that while we dated for one day and we were hanging out for one day, then after we like didn't see each other, I felt intense sexual energy for like a good like 2 days, 3 days straight. Like throughout the whole day of just intense sexual energy. You know, like that shit was so intense. Like your sexual organ, your sexual energy from spiritual term, I guess, from a new age spiritual term. I understand chakras, all that's new age shit, but I'm saying it so you guys can understand. But and for I can understand too. But like you're basically, if you want to know your sexual organ location when it comes to chakras, it's called your sacral chakra. I thought it was root chakra, but no, it's actually your sacral chakra, I think. If not, then it could be your root chakra, but let me know if I'm wrong. But I think it's sacral chakra. That's the location of your sexual organ energy, that shit like that. So my sacral chakra is overstimulated for like a long ass time. That shit it felt good, but that shit was intense to where like it was overwhelming, and I was kind of scared. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I'm attracted to that person, but it just seemed like an energy or a higher force was like forcing that shit onto me. You know what I'm saying? And I do experience that shit, but again, not as intense compared to back in 2017 or 2018ish. You know what I'm saying? But I do experience, well, honestly, I do experience it now, but as the years go by, it gets less and less intense. But back then, like 2018, 2019, even a little bit 2020ish, that's when it was like, I'll feel that shit random times and it'll last for a long time and I couldn't control it. I remember so bad, I was like outside and I had no sexual thoughts or sexual desires, but out of nowhere, my sacral chakra was being overstimulated at a random time while I was outside and shit like that. I'm like, what the fuck, you know what I'm saying? And I couldn't control that shit. So even when I was like moving around, I was playing sports, I was playing basketball, and like I still felt that shit. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know, it's just weird. So like these energies is extremely tense and it's uncontrollable. That's what I noticed. But it could be. But again, I booked the tarot reading, and she mentioned that like the reason why I'm experiencing overstimulation within my sacral chakra is, one, yes, I could be feeling my twin flames energy, or it could be my Kundalini activation, because Kundalini has a lot of sexual energy. But it could be also like I'm purging out, because the sacral chakra deals with like, I guess, connections and human interaction. So since I've been around a lot of people who let me down and people who disappointed me, people who betrayed me and shit like that, it took a toll on my sacral chakra. So that's why my sacral chakra is being overstimulated, so it can purge all that shit out. Same thing with the heart chakra with past traumas. It's each chakra has different types of like traumas and certain types of energies that needs to be released, and it needs to be released within certain chakra systems, and that's when it's going to get purged out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I learned from my tarot reader, pretty much. But yeah, also anxiety. So I'm not sure with anxiety. I gotta be careful what I say. Again, everything I say is just a YouTube video, just for entertainment. So don't take what I say for facts. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my videos seriously. I just make videos for entertainment and out of boredom, and so I can make money. So don't take my shit seriously, you know. But also, I love making YouTube videos, so because I love talking. I love improving my communication skills, and I love telling stories. You know, especially when it comes to spirituality, because this shit does get lonely at times. But it's fun doing it too. But when it comes to anxiety gets weird, because if you're experiencing anxiety, now I'm not sure it's because of the foods we're eating. I do believe, because there are times where like when I'm not eating, then my nervous system will feel extremely calm. But when I'm eating, especially meats, when I'm eating like chicken or eggs or stuff like that, then that's when I'll get extremely anxious and my heartbeat will increase rapidly. I feel like within these meats, these scientists, they put a lot of like chemicals and drugs and steroids within these meats. So it makes sense when a human eats that shit, especially when their nervous system is sensitive, they're gonna, or if you're vegan or vegetarian, or if you don't eat meat as much, then if you eat meat, then all these drugs and steroids and all these chemicals is gonna like overstimulate your nervous system, causing your heartbeat to increase. The heartbeat rate is gonna increase. You're gonna feel more anxiety. You're gonna feel more overwhelmed and shit like that. So me, with my diet, I'm vegan vegetarian, but I do eat meat here and there. Well, no, I've been vegan vegetarian since I was like 20 all the way to 25. So about like 5.5 years. I think I started when I was like 19, but I was like, I started slowly. I didn't went all out. I became Pakistan where I was eating fish. Then I let go of fish. I don't eat seafood no more. But I haven't eaten seafood in like since I was like 19, pretty much. But so I've been vegan for like about 5.5 years. But now this year last year I've been starting to eat a lot of like chicken and eggs and meats, pretty much. You know, but I notice whenever I eat those and I feel anxiety and stuff like that. Not all the time, but sometimes. But this is why I'm not sure if it's foods. I feel like sometimes it's the foods, but more so like keep in mind too, just even if you are vegan vegetarian, even these fruits and vegetables, they still have chemicals. So pretty much every food has poison into it. I'm not saying just meats, you know what I'm saying? And me, I prefer eating meat because that's more protein. So I already made a video about like eating meat versus vegans. I have nothing against the diets and shit like that. Just how I look at it is whatever works for you, works for you. I'm not judgmental, you know what I'm saying? There are people, unfortunately, who are judgmental, but me, I'm not like that because I switch it up when it comes to my diet. So I don't, when it comes to diet, I don't have a main one. I just switch it up. But the reason why I choose a certain diet is because of spirituality, pretty much. So I feel like spirit wants me to eat more fruits and vegetables, even though it's hard, you know. But I guess it's part of my path. But me, at times I do eat meat, especially this year. But the last couple of years I wasn't, but the last couple of years now I am. I also eat a lot of junk food, which I need to let go of. But it's just desires and shit like that. But he's gotta find the right balance, I guess. I don't know. But also I feel like when you're experiencing random anxiety and stuff like that, it could be spiritual. I could be wrong, but obviously, like I said in this video, don't take my word for it. Just get checked up in the doctors. Check up if you're constantly getting checked up. If you never have a history of anxiety or rapid heartbeats, but you are experiencing it out of nowhere, especially recently out of nowhere, and even though you never experienced that before, but now you are, it could be spiritual. So with me, in my case, I feel like someone could be sending me negative energy or evil eye energy. Usually when I sense that, I have massive headaches, and then like I can feel it in my head, especially telepathically. I think signs someone's sending you evil eye energy is when like you can't get this person off your mind, and you have like a headache, or like your head burns, or you feel a lot of negative energy in your head and it gets overwhelming and you just have a bad vibes from it. That's a sign someone's sending you negative energy. I've experienced that with family members and with my twin flame connection. No, with my twin flame connection is different. It wasn't necessarily we send each other negative evil eye energies, more so like within twin flames, or it's not twin flames, but any romantic connection, you're naturally going to develop a spiritual soul tie, I guess, because especially when you're having sex. Me, I never had sex with my twin flame, but people who usually have sex, then that's how you develop a soul tie or like an energetic tie. And I feel like you two will kind of be like very telepathic. This is why like you see like people arguing with their baby mamas, or within romantic relationships, or baby daddies, or like you see romantic relationships where people are always arguing, because they have a close bond, because they've been physically intimate with one another. They have a lot of they've been sexually together and shit like that. So they're naturally develop like a bond, like a strong bond. So this is why they get on each other's nerves and shit like that. They trigger each other. But it also deals with like past life karma or this life karma and karmic energies and soul contracts. This is why they'll argue and there's so much conflict, because they got to resolve certain issues from karma and shit like that. So there are spiritual sides and there's physical sides to it as well. But where was I? When it comes to anxiety, but just like what Chauncey Wan said on his channel, it could be like at times spirit does kind of force that shit onto you. But I like Chauncey Wan's mindset. He said like I forgot what he said. He said he's not his emotions, and when he says that, he made a great point. And I feel like that's another way to overcome your emotions, is to know that you're not the body, you're not the mind. You're not your emotions. So I like Chauncey Wan's mindset, where like whenever he feels like, because he mentioned that like at times, and I agree with him, I believe him, like at times spirit will kind of force these depressive energies and anxiety and anger and just sadness at times through him, and other people experience that shit. When you're experiencing that shit at random times, when spirit does that, it's not you forcing it. It's at times, sometimes it's spirit doing that so you can get off your comfort zone. Shout out to Chauncey, because he mentioned that, and he made a great point. And like he said, if you're experiencing like depression, I don't know, or sadness, or anger, or anxiety, just know that you're not your emotions. You are a spirit in a human body. You're trapped in a nervous system human body, so you're not your emotions. So when you're experiencing that shit, it's easy to overcome it, knowing that like you can see through the bullshit of you experiencing your emotions. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So like for example, like what Chauncey once said, at times like he'll feel random anxiety or like depressive energy, right? At random times, even though he's not doing anything, his spirit forcing that, so he could like, I guess, get off his comfort zone. I think it's mentioned something like that. When that happens, he's aware that like it's not him, it's spirit doing that. So he knows how to navigate it through it pretty much, and he knows what steps to do to overcome it. Even though it's easier said than done, he knows the steps, and that's how you got to approach these emotions. And that's where you get your shadow work. I'm not saying bypass your emotions, but if you experience those, then I guess that's an indicator of doing your shadow work, cry it out, release anger, yell it out, do what you got to do, you know. And like, and if you're new to my channel, subscribe to Chauncey one, because he talks about healing and health. Yeah, he does a lot of like yoga, fasting. He's trying to become a breatharian. The health benefits of fasting and breatharian. He does full body yoga stretches, how that helps to heal the human body and the nervous system spiritually. He talks about Qigong, breath work, and meditation that helps heal the nervous system and the body. It helps you sustain yourself when you're fasting and trying to become a breatharian. So he talks about a lot of like energy work and healing. So make sure you check out his channel. It's very legit. So when you experience those things, try to do yoga, meditation, breath work, and stuff like that. Qigong and release your emotions through grieving, yelling, shit like that. Yeah. I'm also gonna talk about my experiences being the black sheep of the family, or being the scapegoat of the family, or my experiences dealing with generational curses. So there are people who experience that shit around the world, and there's, in the information age, a lot of people are making videos about it, you know. And it's just crazy how like all the terms people mention, like the flying monkeys, narcissistic mother, narcissistic parents, all that shit, like all these people have these labels and terms, but they're fucking right, you know what I'm saying? And it's true. If you're not familiar with the flying monkeys, pretty much like siblings, or it could be other people who like follow orders from a narcissistic abuser, from the main abuser, the narcissistic abuser who's targeting a victim. They use other people who can't see through their bullshit and who are followers and who are dumb. And there are these same followers are also scared of that abuser and that narcissistic leader that's targeting the victim. So they're gonna listen to what they say, and they're delusional and they're under a spell and they're fucking dumb. So they always follow orders off of codependency and nurturing. So this is why they do that shit, especially within family systems. So I have experienced my siblings like not believing my side of the story. They don't even attempt to believe my side of the story. They always end up attacking me. They assume shit about me, and they're very dumb, and they're followers, and they listen to whatever my narcissistic mother says about me, even though she's the one that's provoking me and starting shit with me behind closed doors. And she lies to my family members to gang up on me. So now all my family members are against me, and that's how dumb they are. But and keep in mind, I do fight back too, because like it's fun. I think it's fun because keep in mind, like I'm in a human body, so I've like, even though I am on the healing journey, but keep in mind, just because I'm on a healing journey, I still have a lot of anger and physical emotions, so I'll take that shit onto them. Watch my previous videos, but that's not the topic of this video. But I feel like it's a spiritual thing, because even when I was forced to be around their household, I still had all the information, but I still couldn't do nothing about it because it's spiritual. I feel like it's demonic warfare I play. I feel like it's spiritual warfare. So like there are times where like there are people, I personally haven't seen it. I think I have, but I don't know. I don't remember. But other people have been reports of seeing their narcissistic abuser, their eyes changing colors, their facial features are changing, their voice changes. You know, that's common with the narcissists, with their main abusers, you know? So, I am familiar with people attacking me spiritually. Is not only have I experienced that shit through family members, but I've also experienced that shit at the workplace to a certain extent. And again, it's just to make it easy, it's demonic forces that are jumping from body to body or multiple bodies to target you, because they're trying to take you off your path, because you're more likely your mission is very spiritual. So this is why you get attacked a lot wherever you go, and this is why they all act and do the same shit. But it was weird when I was dealing with my family members, my narcissistic mother. It's just crazy how like the flying monkeys, and flying monkeys, it doesn't have to be like within family dynamics. It can play out in like at the workplace or in other situations. It doesn't have to play specifically for family roles, because I've experienced the workplace, not my boss, but I used to work at the food court at the mall. And that, hang on, but before I get into that, the thing with flying monkeys is that like, they could be aware that you're not the problem. They could be aware that you are the victim, but they're still going to find excuses and reasons to attack you. The reasons why is because, one, they always hated you from the beginning, they always feel something. Usually it's envy and jealousy, and they want something that they don't have, and they feel some type of way about it. So this is why it's so easy for fine monkeys or people to follow orders from the main abuser targeting you, is because they always had something against you out of jealousy and envy. They see a light in you, so this is why they find every excuse to not see your side of the story, to even attempt to see your side of the story, to attack you through excuses and bullshit ass, lame ass reasons, right? Not even a reason, it's excuses from the main abuser who likes to target you. I've experienced certain siblings who are like smiling, and they're like kind of like they're like happy knowing that like they're abusing me and targeting me, and it was me against everyone, you know, and I was put in a vulnerable situation where I couldn't fight back, you know. So and these demons, these spiritual entities, these negative entities, they're very like lethal, they're very dangerous, because I remember while I was dealing with that shit, they could jump in from like family members' bodies, but they could also jump into like police or like I remember because when I was experiencing family abuse, where like my stepfather, he charged and he like threw a sucker punch at me after I confronted him for his bullying and shit like that. I turned around and I looked back and I saw him like, so like, you know, it's a lot to explain. So long story short, I know I'm all over the place, but fast forward, my stepfather, like, he was saying some slick ass words towards me after work out of nowhere and shit like that. That freaked me out, and then I ran up to my stairs. I called my mom about what he said, and then my stepfather lied to my mom, and then my mom got mad at me, and then she started yelling and yelling at me through the phone, saying I'm always a problem, I'm always starting shit, I'm always lying, this and that. Then that caused us to have an argument and to like not like talk to each other. Fast forward a couple weeks, I confronted my stepfather because I was fed up with that. I told him what he did was not cool, and if he has a fucking problem with me, let me know about it. And then he was saying some other slick shit, and then I kind of put him in his place. I didn't threaten him, but like I was putting him in his place pretty much respectfully. Well, not respectfully, but I was kind of raising my voice. But I didn't threaten him or willing to fight him. But I did got up to him and I told him what he did was not right. And he was sitting in the couch. So after I did that, after I shut his ass down face to face, I turned around and he was sitting in the couch. But I turned around, I walked towards the living room. I was about to like walk towards the front door, and as soon as I turned around, I just saw him. And keep in mind, me, I'm like 5'9", 160. He's like 6'2", 6'3". He weighs like 260, 250, 240-ish. So he's like twice my size pretty much. So when I turned around, I saw this fucking weird ass dude. Like, he fucking jumped across the couch, and he jumped across the couch, and I just see him with his fist up, and he just, like, I can't explain. Like, he literally jumped off the couch, and he jumped across towards my direction, and when I turned around, all I saw was his fist, and then it fucking hit my face. And then I remember I just fell to the ground, and I remember he just kept on swinging at me, and then he kicked me with his knee. So he's swinging at me, he's like he was swinging at me, and then like I remember I was just like, I couldn't remember anything, so I was blocking my body like this, like I was on the floor, I was like that and shit. He was laying hands, and then he was kicking me, like I think he kneed me on the rib cage. That shit was crazy. Like, he really fucking kneed me. So I was like in the ground, like, what the fuck? And then next thing you know, I opened my eyes, and then I saw my mom, like, she was like screaming and yelling at him, and she was like scratching his face and shit like that. So and she left like a lot of like scratching marks on his face to the point where he was bleeding. So my mom pretty much broke it up. Then I remember when I saw that shit, I just kind of freaked out. I was in a fight or flight mode. I got out the house and I started fucking running, and I had my phone. I had my phone. So I ran far away from the house, grabbed my phone so I could call the police. And then like moments later, I saw my mom. She was driving her truck, and she actually found me while I was running. And then she stopped the car, and she turned down a window, and she was like, "Jared, I'm gonna call your dad. And like, why you always trying to start problems with us, this and that?" And she said she's gonna call my dad, and so she wants me to get out the house. And she was calling my dad and saying that like, oh, like, I'm always a problem, I'm always starting shit. When in reality, I'm not. So anyway, so I was waiting, and then after she did that, she drove off. She turned up the window, she drove off back to her house, whatever. And then what's crazy that like she actually called my mom, and I was calling the police what happened. So the police are on their way. So my mom, so she called like all my siblings, and my siblings they live in different houses, same area, but they live in different houses. They probably live like 20 minutes away. So my mom actually called all my siblings to go against me. So as I was waiting, both of my siblings both drove their cars. They're driving fast and they stopped, and they're like talking shit to me. They're yelling at me. They're getting up on my face and shit like that, saying I'm always a fucking problem. I'm always trying to start shit. And then my other unhinged sibling, my oldest sibling, he's like 36, 35. He's so unhinged. Like he has a lot of mental health issues, but I remember him, like he took off his shirt. He's a grown ass man with a family. He took off his shirt and he was squaring up on me, wanting to find me across the neighborhood. And like I remember he was kind of chasing me down. I was kind of like running from him because I didn't want to start any problems. The reason why I didn't fight back is because like I was in the process of joining the military, and like I didn't want to lose my chances of me not being in the military because I'm aware, like me, I'm aware of what I'm capable of doing, because I'm the type of person, like when I fight, like I also bite, I also like scratch, like not scratch, but I bite. So like I don't like, I have no chill when I'm fighting. So like I'm aware of what I'm capable of. Even when I'm getting beat up, I know what I'm capable of. But I didn't want to risk of like harming someone or killing someone or physically harming someone to where like now I gotta be put in jail or in prison, and that could like ruin my chances of being in the military. So I was very cautious. So I was trying to choose my battles wisely. And I was very paranoid because I took it seriously, because the military was my only gateway to get away from my abusive household and to get away from my situation back in my hometown, because there's no job opportunities. There's no way for me to make something out of myself. So, so it kind of sucked. But I remember he's kind of chasing me down around the house. Like he's provoking me to fight him and shit like that. It was just weird. Like he took off his shirt and he was just staring me down. Like he looked all angry. He was like, ugh. Like it was just weird. Shit was weird. Like he's unhinged. But like, oh man, but you see how like, yeah, but like, I think we did fought. No, we didn't, but because he was chasing me down and like across the neighborhood and shit like that. But moments later, the police came in. No. So before the police came in, my brother, so the one who took off his shirt, he eventually put his shirt back on. I think he threw my phone. He did, but as soon as he put his shirt back on, he grabbed all my personal belongings from my room, and he just threw that shit across like the neighbor's front yard and shit like that. And I saw his face, and he was looking at me, and he was smiling, and he looked very like pleased and at peace with himself, So I feel like that deals with a lot of jealousy and him just like always wanting to like put me down if he had the opportunity to do so out of envy. Keep in mind, he's a fucking loser. Like, I'm gonna tell his side of the story. So like he's like, there's history with him and his baby mom. His baby mom, like I heard stories where like his baby mom will like slap the shit out of him, and there are also times where like he was trying to live with someone else in an apartment and someone punched him and he got knocked out. So like, so I've heard stories of him being a fucking loser in the real world, which he is. So because his baby mama always bitches him up, and I always see, because his baby mama slapped the shit out of him. I remember overheard my mom talking about that. So. And not only that, but I also heard him getting knocked out from someone while I was trying to live with someone in an apartment in the street. And he has a history of like getting fired from jobs, being unemployed. And he has a kid. He has like multiple kids. No, he only has one kid. No, and he has a kid and he has a daughter, but he has two baby mamas. Or no, he has one baby mama, but he's also dating someone else. To be honest, no. He has a kid with his baby mama who bitches him up. But he also got another lady pregnant, so he has two families pretty much. And when I see, and he used to live like in the family household, and they used to always argue, and that shit was chaotic, man. I can't believe I've experienced that shit. But that comes to show, like, if people are losing their life, they're not going to hesitate to project that shit towards you. So that makes sense that whenever like, and he's the type of person where, like, he'll never hesitate to attack me. Like, even though I'll try to tell my side of the story, he wouldn't believe it, or he wouldn't even attempt to believe my side of the story. Keep in mind, he's my sibling. He's my oldest sibling. As a sibling, brother, you're supposed to protect your family, but he doesn't do that. He's a fucking loser. Like, he immediately attacks, and like I said, he's mentally dumb. He's a loser. So he's always fired from jobs. He doesn't even have a career. So but anyways, Man, this shit crazy. And I also have a twin brother who likes to lie on me towards family members. He likes to lie on my name. He likes to he's covert narcissistic. Like he does shit very underhanding. I've already explained in my other videos, but yeah. So I was like, but finally the cops came in moments later. I tried to tell my cops my side of the story, even though because I called them. And there's always a situation where whenever I'm the one that's always calling the police, they always are willing to talk and hear my side of the story for like 5 minutes. But then they'll come towards my family and they'll talk to them for like an hour or fucking 2 hours, and like that's always a pattern whenever I call police. The reason why is because it's me versus like fucking 5 to 10 people. So of course they're gonna believe 5 to 10 people because a lot of people, they're dumb, they're not smart. And my family will lie towards the police, and then they'll point me as a victim. They'll point me as the enemy or the problem. And I had this one police officer where like he was like interrupting me, he was being rude and aggressive towards me. And like I remember he said like he interrupted me during mid conversation and said, "Shut up, you're the problem. Yeah, they're acting like that, they're hitting you, they're abusing you because of you, because you're the problem, it's because of you." So he's very disrespectful. He was interrupting me and shit like that. So yeah, police they can't do that, not all of them, but I feel like looking back, it's the Jezebel spirit or it's demonic entities jumping from body to body, because they're very skilled, they're very like crafty when it comes to targeting a victim, pretty much. Yes, there are humans who are mentally ill, but it's spiritual. These demonic entities, they jump from body to body to target a certain person. It could be like a random person that you call for help, like the police, like in my case. So the spiritual warfare is extremely intense. But it's all good though, because that same police officer, like months later, as soon as I was about to like enlist in the military, I called the police and I told him, and I actually reported him towards his supervisor and stuff like that. I told him the full story, and like they're understanding, and they told me that they're gonna deal with him. So either way, he got his karma, because I at the end of the day I called them, because I don't let shit slide. You know what I'm saying? So either way, I can sleep peacefully. But yeah, and I told him every detail too. I called the police department, so don't, it's karmic justice. But yeah, moral of the story, breaking generational curses, being a black sheep, experiencing spiritual warfare, and this shit's no joke. It's very intense, but just know that if I could go, if you experience that shit right now, just know that like there is light at the other side. I know it's not fair, it's bullshit, but just know that you can look at my videos for motivation. That like, it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can always find a way to get out. But I feel like people who experience spiritual warfare or like narcissism or breaking generational curses, I feel like it plays out within a collective scale, because the same way where there's flying monkeys and followers who like to follow blindly with these narcissistic abusers, I feel like that shit also plays out in society. You see the Masons, you see the Illuminati, you see corrupt government, who are very evil and sinister, and they've been allowing a lot of evil shit happen in this world for such a long time. And you see like other people who are followers within the society, who are workers, and you see these YouTubers or spiritualists or people trying to expose the corrupt system. But these other workers for the system, they don't believe them. It's in anything, they go with this system. I feel like that plays out within narcissistic families and shit like that, because they're also known as the flying monkeys, where like they fight and defend the system, or they at least defend the Masons and the J-words and like the Illuminati, corrupt government and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So that shit plays out not just with like narcissistic families and generational curses. That plays on anything. People who are like trying to like expose some type of corruption in some way. I feel like most YouTubers, the reason why they have so much information and wisdom is because their life mission or spirit or God will kind of put them in situations where they'll experience certain shit that's very intense before the collective experiences it. And once they experience that shit, once they overcome it, or while they're experiencing it, this is why they have so much information and wisdom, and they're spreading it through YouTube, is because the things they're experiencing, the collective's also experiencing that shit. But these people, they're kind of like 2 steps ahead. So this is why their life, because these spiritual YouTubers who are very advanced, you could like look at their lives and whenever they tell about their life story, it's very intense. It's very like, it's very intense and just it's just crazy. But they're able to overcome it, and that's how they're able to share their wisdom and their knowledge. And moments later, you can see that shit play on the collective. So the whole collective, what they're going through, these spiritualist YouTubers, they also experience that shit, but they're able to overcome it. And now now God kind of puts these people in a situation to where they could like dish out information to help the collective going through what they had to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like I use Chauncey One's example with his health situation. Now he's able, like I mentioned that in my old life, but basically like with Chauncey One, like he experienced a lot of health complications and challenges where like he almost had a near death experience, but now he overcame all that through fasting, through yoga and stuff like that, and now he's sharing information to help other people, and now he's also exposing the corrupt healthcare systems and just all other shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Because the stuff he's teaching is very unique. Not too many people know about it, you know. So it's an example like that, you know what I'm saying. But again, I'm not saying I'm fully right or like I'm all knowing. No, again, I'm making YouTube videos just for entertainment. Just like all my videos, those aren't facts. I'm just saying it from my own mindset on how I observe things. I could be wrong. I could be full of shit. So don't take my word from it. Just all my videos, just take whatever what resonates and apply it to your life. And if it helps you, or if it motivates you, or if it entertains you, you know, then that's what it's meant to do. You know what I'm saying? So again, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. Don't take my video seriously. I'm speaking because I feel like talking, and that's how I'm just talking about my life stories and shit like that. So that's all I gotta say, and I hope this video helps. And just follow your heart. Just know that life is spiritual. So I know life is trippy, but this is why I make videos. So hopefully I can help you guys, and vice versa. So I can learn from other people. And again, don't take don't take everything I say to heart, because I just make videos for entertainment. So, and also use my YouTube platform to I treat it like a therapy session, because I have so much like baggage and I'm in so much emotional distress that like I gotta release that shit. And unfortunately, I like to project it towards YouTube. So if you see me cussing or cussing people out or being a hypocrite, it's because I'm releasing a lot of pent up emotions and anger and stuff like that. So please don't take my videos seriously. Just take what resonates, and if you like it, you like it, you know. But that's all I gotta say. And like, comment, subscribe, and have a good one. Peace.